Hey everybody, thanks for dropping in. Dylan here. Today I'm going to be bringing you a video on non-face-to-face relationships. And this was a comment made a while ago by DDF Gluestick, who expressed that, he was not in a face-to-face relationship. So real quick overview, I'm going to give 5 tips on non-face-to-face relationships, how to make them work. They can be challenging. With all of those in mind, the ultimate goal being to move towards meeting the person face-to-face, eventually changing it from a non-face-to-face relationship into more of a traditional relationship. We're gonna go through 5 quick tips. This is something that I actually don't recommend, but I would be remiss to not talk about it because it's something that I dealt with for a while. I was in a non-face-to-face relationship for a year, and this was a long time ago. It was actually my first relationship ever. I'm excited that somebody actually brought that up because it's kind of an uncommon thing. I wanted to find what a non-face-to-face relationship is. So I define a non-face-to-face relationship as a relationship where there has never been a physical, in-person interaction between the two people in the relationship. So it's only ever been texting, calling, video chat. It's never been in-person communication. There's no physical contact. It's all usually online, and you meet the person online. So eventually you're gonna wanna move into a more physical, traditional setting because, you could have a relationship for many, many years where you never see the person, but it's incredibly difficult to do, and it's really, not what most people want. So getting into it, the first tip I have is video chat constantly. It is the best way to interact with the other person. Not only are you talking with them instead of texting, which is a big thing, talking helps so much.
Oh my God.
But also you're seeing the other person, you're seeing the environment that they're in, you can better understand where they're coming from, and it just helps with all communication throughout the entire thing. And relationships in general are about communication. But in a non-face-to-face relationship, communication becomes like everything. It is the #1 thing of importance. You need to know and be open with one another about, what you're actually going through in your life and make that known, make that relatable, because this person is trying to put themselves in your world, and that can be really tricky unless they're actually seeing parts of your world. So video chat, video chat, video chat. When I was in a non-face-to-face relationship, I was 17, and it was really tricky. I used Uvu, which was like the thing at the time. Like, you use that, like that's cool. Like, get on there, video chat, hang out, even do group video chats. And I met the girl that I was in the relationship with. I met actually through Xbox Live, which is crazy, but it was from a friend introducing me, and then I went online, got to know her through voice chatting and actually playing a game, and it turned into a lot more than that. But there's plenty of other ways to meet people. Dating apps are a great example, or online games that just turn into, hey, they turn into more than just an online game at some point when you're interacting with another person. I have friends who met other people through Habbo Hotel, through other online games, simulation games. There's all different ways to meet people for non-face-to-face relationships. That's tip #1, make sure to video chat a ton. Second tip is to be super open, super honest, and as transparent as you can be. And now, there's a very thin line between being controlling and manipulative and going in way too deep into somebody's personal thing. They might not be ready to tell you yet. Just like with a in-person face-to-face relationship, there are things that your partner's not going to want you to know about them right away, and maybe even months, if not, hopefully not years in, but sometimes it can be a long time before people feel comfortable talking about certain parts of themselves. And that's just as true in non-face-to-face relationships. In fact, it might be even more of a barrier since you're not developing a level of comfort with another person right next to them. Like that, it's a little tougher for people to disclose personal things about them online. And so getting to that point is really important in the relationship. And don't rush it by any means, but be able to be completely, as open as you can be with the person you're talking with. And that will just help so much, because with my situation, there was none of that. There were things happening that I didn't know about, and I was not gonna pry. I didn't want to be like controlling and like figure out where they were all the time, but at the same time, I should have been a little bit more suspicious, and that's where being my first relationship came in. It was tricky to be, to figure out, what I was supposed to do. But I ended up realizing that the girl that I was talking with was cheating on me with other guys, and totally made sense in retrospect. And this was years and years ago, so like, it doesn't really, bother me now, but it was really like a shocker to me then, and it shouldn't have been. There's like certain warning signs too that really should let you know, okay, don't spend as much time on this, don't stress about this. It could be less of a serious thing. So that's tip number 2, be open and honest. Tip number 3 is with dates. Dates are gonna be really weird because you're not actually there, but you can have like a nice dinner date on webcam. You can send the other person things. So like one of the big things that I loved was we used to send each other, when I was in my non-face-to-face relationship, we used to send each other packages or letters, like handwritten notes with like a couple like goofy things or like candy or like something fun. And that was like a really great way to break that digital barrier where you're actually receiving something like physical from this person you've never even seen before. And it was really kind of cool to have that factor into the relationship. It made things feel more personal and helped me get closer with that other person. So that's tip number 3. Send each other things in real life. Don't do everything digitally. Non-face-to-face relationships aren't long-distance relationships. That's something that's super important to remember. Long-distance relationships, I think, it implies that like you've met the person before and now you're just struggling with long distance because of like, whatever happens in their life or your life where you can't be near each other in like a reasonable distance anymore. 4th tip is, it's just a basic relationship thing, but showing genuine interest in, what it is they do, who they hang around with, because you're not gonna meet any of their friends probably, you're not gonna meet their parents, you're not gonna meet, like, the relationships that they already have in their life are so important to them, and being aware of those and understanding those and what those are like for that person are huge. Because again, it relates back to the first point where, video chatting all the time helps you see their environment, helps put you in their world. That's what the 4th tip is all about. Getting to understand their current relationships, getting to understand the people that are in their world that are important to them. And the 5th tip, I was talking about this briefly in the beginning, eventually making plans to meet in person. That's huge because that's what's really going to continue it. It can only really, in my opinion, go on so long non-face-to-face. If you out there have been in a non-face-to-face relationship for several years, let me know in the comments below. That's amazing. Like really, that's so great. Like good for you. That's like really hard to do. But eventually you're going to want to meet in person and share experiences with one another and, have more of a traditional relationship. So best of luck to all of you out there, whether or not you're in a non-face-to-face relationship, you're thinking about getting into one, or you just wanted to check out this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to press that like button, smash it if you want to, I don't care. And if you if you found this interesting and want to see future videos, make sure you click that subscribe button. There's going to be new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So thanks for watching.